Monday. Hope you're off to a great start to the week. We got a beautiful freaking day here in Asheville. We've had just a really nice stretch of weather here going back into last week. It was cool last week, but sunny out and definitely warmed up over the weekend. We had a great weekend here. Hope you had a great weekend too. Hope the week is kicking off. We got a lot of work to do. We're going to ship out all our orders, eBay, Poshmark. Well, I guess I don't have any Mercari sales, and chris@peak.com. So we're going to ship out all those orders on the live. I'm going to show you exactly what sold. I'm going to tell you how much I paid for it, how much it sold for, profits, how long they took to sell, all that sort of stuff, just to give you a good, honest glimpse into this reselling business, a business that I've run now for 7 years out of the home, and it's been a full-time venture for 5 years now. So, and I've been sharing content almost for 6 years now, sharing you every step of the way. So hope you learned something today. Hope you crack half a smile. Welcome in, Tej. Good to have you. How are you? Haven't seen you in a little bit. Hope all is well. And Tej is already the boss for a moment. I haven't even asked the question. And Tej has already answered. So we will ship eBay first, just for you, Tej. Hello, Kim. I think she's outside on the back deck. Yeah, I think she's outside on the back deck, but I will tell her that you said hello for sure. What's up? Walking with Zach is in the house. Welcome in. Let's get the party started. We got a lot of orders to do. We're going to start with eBay. It was a solid weekend of sales. I thought I had a great weekend brewing. It really felt like that. And then kind of yesterday was a little bit of a dud. It sort of fizzled out. I didn't get like that. I often joke about the dinner bell. Like once it's like dinner time, it seems like people start getting their orders in. I just didn't get a dinner bell last night, but it was a solid day anyway. A solid weekend. I'm happy with it. Grateful for every sale, but we're going to ship out all the orders and we'll start with eBay. Just because Tej said so. What's up? Trish is in the house. How are you, Trish? If you haven't said hello down below in the chat, I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear about how your sales are and what's going on in your business too. This is a great place to ask questions. I know we have a lot of new folks, especially like we have a lot of new subscribers coming in on YouTube over the last probably 7 days. So if you're new, let us know down below, right? New. We love hearing from new folks that are popping in. But we've been doing this live every single Monday for, I don't know how many years now, but it's been years. We're consistent with it. So and as always, these lives are available as a replay. So if you're busy now, if you're at work, you're wrangling the kids, whatever it may be, you're on the road or you're at the thrift store or something, these are available as replay. So as soon as this live is over, it will turn into a replay and you can watch it then. And if you are watching the replay, if you write ship SHIP down below in the chat, that way I know that you're watching. Also, I'll get back to all your questions and comments if you're watching on the replay, just as well as the live too. Kevin's in the house. What's up, Kevin from Lakeland? Sitting in the hospital with mom. Been there for 10 days. I'm exhausted. I'm sorry to hear that, Tej. Sending all available positive vibes I have in your direction. You know, all the strength that I have and healing vibes to your mom and to your family too. So sorry that you're dealing with that, but we'll do our best to sort of send you whatever energy you need. Sales are slow, but it's my fault. I wasn't listing last week like I should have been. Well, at least you know the solution, Zach. You're ready to go. What was the laugh when you read my fun name? I don't know. Why do you ask me questions like this, Trish? I'm eating lunch while watching. Nice. What are you eating? Are you eating a hot dog? I hope so. All right. First order on eBay. Scott says slow weekend, 23 sales, normally a bit more. That's all right. Maybe this is your week. What goes down must come up, right? All right. First order is going to Crystal. Actually, we're going to start off with a bang. This is the first order that came in. So these are all the orders since Saturday around noontime. I ship on Saturdays too. So we're looking at 48 hours worth of sales. And this is the first one that rolled in. It made me smile. A $60 pair of True Religion corduroys. So these are True Religion Joey bootcut corduroy pants with the little flat pocket on the back, too, kind of signature True Religion piece right here. So very, very in style, flare leg, boot cut, super flared on these. So $59.99 on these. I paid $5 at a thrift store. So starting with a good one. Good profit on this one too. I'll tell you exactly the profit on this piece after fees and all that stuff. Everything we're going to ship out using, everything's going to ship out USPS Ground Advantage for all the eBay orders. We've printed out those shipping labels from eBay using eBay's discounts. And this one is going to Crystal. Where did I put? We already have a false start. Oh, there, I see it. I couldn't find Crystal's thank you card. I see it now. We got it out of order. So after all fees and shipping and my cost of goods sold, which was $5, I'm going to make a grand total of $38 profit on this pair of flare leg corduroys. So that's a good one. One of the best sales of the weekend for sure. Kind of an unassuming one too. Not all true religion is going to be worth $60. Love that seersucker shirt. Thanks, brother. It's actually a fairly new grab. I probably picked it up like 6 weeks ago or so, and I put it in the closet. It was a thrift find, and I kind of forgot about it, but it's got a nice texture. Good eye on the seersucker too. All right. First order's out the door to Crystal. Thank you, Crystal. Nice $38 profit item. And that's after all fees. That's after the shipping label. That's after my cost of goods. $38 in my pocket to go buy more inventory this week. Next up, another good sale right here. I paid, you're eating frozen burritos. Nice, Trish. I paid, how much did I pay for this? I think I paid $8 for this. I remember picking this up in Knoxville. And I picked it up at that like expensive thrift store. I forget the name of that thrift store, but everything was like priced up. Surprised this wasn't $15. I think it was $8, and it sold for a best offer of $32 on eBay. So nice little flip right there. And after fees and all that, my profit is going to be 24 minus 8. So yeah, $16 profit on this one right here. I think it was a pretty quick sale too. 32 days on this sale. I picked it up February the 24th, and it sold on March the 28th over the weekend. So not bad. You look very springy already. This is kind of a springy shirt, isn't it? It's very springy here in Asheville this weekend, I'll tell you. Things are starting to bud. I traveled last week. I was down in, so 2 weeks ago, I was in Atlanta. Last week, I was down in Charlotte and in South Carolina, down off the mountain, lower elevation. So I got a glimpse into like a sneak peek into the spring that was coming to here to Asheville. So I think this week is where we're really going to see like the explosion, because it was definitely exploding like down in the Charlotte area, and even starting to down in the Atlanta area 2 weeks ago. So it's always fun to be able to like drive up and down in elevation and get the different versions of spring, I guess. But we are going to blow up. And what's cool about Asheville too, and like being in the mountains, is it'll spring like this week down here. But if I go up to higher elevations, if I go up like 1,000 or 2,000 feet, I mean, what I'm seeing this week will happen in like 2 weeks, right? Kind of interesting. As long as you go up high enough, you can really prolong spring for a little bit here. Good morning. Just finished watching your latest thrift trip video. Appreciate you sharing your content. Thanks, Ashley. Appreciate you chiming in. Thanks for watching. I dropped 2 YouTube videos last week. One where I went to Atlanta the previous week, and then one I dropped yesterday. If you haven't seen that one, I drove out 3.5 hours out to the biggest Goodwill in North Carolina. It's in Rockingham, North Carolina. So just having some fun and doing some thrifting. I stopped in Charlotte, got some good food in Monroe. I think that was probably my most fun. I feel like that was my most fun edit, but I also recorded another YouTube video that I'll be editing this week. And I think that will be the most fun edit. I just had some fun. I hit a couple of cool non-thrifting spots, in addition to some good thrifting spots too. So I think that one will be fun to edit and put together. It'll make me smile as I make it. You should visit Jacksonville. At some point, I'll visit Jacksonville for sure. Next up is an order for Chester. Chester got a pair of these brand new with tags, Adidas 3-stripe pants. I feel like I paid like $10 a piece for these. I picked up a whole bunch of them retail clearance, different colors. I got blue ones, I got black ones, I got these tan ones. And they've been selling pretty good. $32.40 on. That's a nifty best offer on these right there, $32.40. So the buyer, Chester, watched the item on eBay. 10 minutes later, my cross lister, Nifty, automatically sent a 10% off offer. Closed the deal for me. And you'll probably hear me say that a bunch of times today, as most days. I see another one up on the screen too. Because that Nifty auto offer option, just that option alone, just that feature gets me extra sales every single day. It's just so huge for my business. It usually pays for itself in the first day or two of the month in just the extra profits I make from sales from Nifty. So it's It's a cross lister. It's a AI listing tool, which actually saves me a lot of time, and it's automation tools all built into one platform, one subscription, one monthly fee. And if you want to check it out, and I know many of you already use it, but if you don't use it already, I'm going to drop the link right there below in the chat. And if you tap that link, it's a free trial link. You'll get 7 days totally for free, no strings attached. You can check it out. You can see how it works with your business. You can test all the features. And if you like the results you get in that first week and you sign up, you'll get 15% off your first month. All you got to do is click that link right there, and that'll take care of everything for you. That's the free trial link. So when I tried it 2 years ago, I first started using it in April of 2024. And when I first did that, like first month or first week trial, holy crap, I was like, this is a game changer. I didn't even make it through the 7 days before I like committed and signed up for the full on thing. I was like, this is what the cross lister that I've been waiting for. If you have any questions about Nifty, let me know down below in the chat. If you already use Nifty and you got some feelings about it, feel free to drop those down below in the chat too. Birmingham is terrible, like a yellow cloud. Thank you for sharing. I've visited Birmingham once before. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was a quick trip, but I thought it was a cool little city. But everybody likes different things, I suppose. I got to get back to getting my rack of clothes I picked up listed. Good work, Trish. Get after it. Hope you have a great day. Next up is for Amanda. So this is an item. This is important for people to know. I know people see that I sell a lot of Polo Ralph Lauren. It's been my #1 selling brand every single year I've been in business. And this is my 8th year in business. And I'm sure it's going to be #1 again this year. But you have to know that not all of it sells quickly and not all of it sells for great money. Sometimes you just get stuck with certain items and it's hard to explain why, because they're really similar to other ones that I sold. I've sold this blue Polo Ralph Lauren shirt with the flesh pony right there, kind of Oxford style shirt right here, button down collar. I've sold this shirt countless times, dozens of times in the same exact color with the flesh pony. This one just sat around for a little while. I lowered the price. It still didn't sell. It actually hit another price lowering that I did just last week. So I lowered it to $17.97, and then it sold for my full reduced price. No offer on this. They just came and finally bought it. So sometimes it's hard to explain. There's no reason why this Polo Ralph Lauren shirt wouldn't sell at the usual like $22.99 that I list them for. No clue. But I had it around for a while, lowered the price twice, and we got that full price sale. So it happens when you buy enough volume of these really common brands. Not all of them are going to sell really quickly. And I think sometimes I have people pop into like my videos or into these chats here, and they'll say like, well, I have a Polo Ralph Lauren and it's been sitting in my, on my eBay for 6 months and nobody's even liked it or anything or watched it. And I'm like, well, yeah, I probably have some of those too. But I also have another, probably 100 of them that I've already sold this year. So it's, it's just, you can't just like make decisions off one experience with a brand. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I just don't think it's a good idea. We'll take a look at how many Polo Ralph Laurens I've already sold. So I've sold 71 Polo Ralph Lauren pieces in the first, what are we at, 90 days or like 80? We're at like 89 days or 88 days, and I've sold 71 already. So this one took a while, but that's just part of the game, And it's not even like a bad model or a color. I've sold, I can't tell you how many times I've sold that exact shirt. Anyway, $17.97. I paid $5 for it. Took a while to sell, but we got it gone. This is going to Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Good morning. Edward is in the house. What's up, brother? Went to an estate sale this weekend, scored 20 pairs of new tag Levi's jeans, $350 each. Wasn't on my bingo card. No kidding. Good find there. I want that on my bingo card for this weekend. What are your go-to brands for this time of year to look for? TS Squared, awesome question. Why don't we like crowdsource that question? I'll leave it up on the screen for a minute there. What are some of your favorite brands to pick up? Now, of course, I'm going to say like, you got to look beyond the brands. Brand is like, it's like a third of the knowledge, right? But then like style, color, size, and that sort of thing, that really impacts things. But anyway, let's drop some good brands that you like to look for in the springtime. Drop them down below in the chat to help out T Squared. Good question there. If I said some good brands, I'd be sitting here in an hour still listing off brands because I just pick up so many. But you might want to take a look at the things that we're shipping out. Those would be good things to look for. I'll be shipping and telling you brands the whole remainder of this live. So this one is out the door. Next up is a brand that I don't pick up everything from, and I'll say that probably 100 times in this live. Maybe not 100, but I'll say it a bunch of times in this live. 511 Tactical. But there are certain models that I still pick up every single time if the price is right from 511 Tactical. This pair of pants right here is called the Taclite Pro Ripstop Cargo Pant. Always a good seller for me, especially if I put in all those keywords, because that's the model that people are looking for. They know they like the Taclite Pro Ripstop Cargo Pants. So if you put that in your item title and in the description with the right keywords and all that stuff, you'll get them sold. So this one sold, full asking price, $23.99. I paid $5 for this at a thrift store. Good, consistent seller for me. It doesn't mean I pick up all 511 Tactical, though. That's an important thing to note. But I do pick up every time I find these Taclite Pro Ripstop pants. Really good seller. So it's about not just memorizing a list of brands. It's about figuring out the models and styles and sometimes the sizes that sell really well. This is going to Chris. Nice name, out in Ocean Springs, Missouri, right? Ocean Springs, Missouri. No, that's Mississippi. Welcome in, everybody. If you're just jumping into the live, we are shipping. We've shipped 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our 5th item that we're shipping out. These are all sales from the last 48 hours. I do this live just to give you a good, honest glimpse into my reselling business, a business that I've run here out of the home for the past 7 years. It's been full-time for the past 5 years. Great place to ask questions. There's a bunch of knowledgeable people here in the chat too that if I don't know the answer to a question, they'll probably know the answer too. And hopefully we get some crowdsourcing of that question I left on the screen. What's up, Stuart? The man clan is in the house. Do you have to leave the browser running? No, absolutely not. That is a big downside, flipping nostalgia, to some of the other cross-listing and automation tools, is that you have to literally leave your computer on out of sleep mode like 24 hours a day for the automation to work. Nifty, you don't even need to own a computer, and the automation is going to work in the background no matter what, which is, to me, a huge bonus. If I'm traveling and I got my laptop with me, it's like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm going to be in the car because as you know, I travel a lot to thrift. Like, what am I going to be in the car with like the laptop open, like while I'm driving, like connected to the internet? It's ridiculous. It's preposterous that some of these other cross listers have that. No, Nifty will run in the background and it will delist all your, as soon as an item sells, right? It's going to pick up, the auto sales detection will pick up the sale and it will delist that item from the other platform. So you don't have to worry about it. And that all happens in the background. You do not need to leave anything open. Literally, you don't even need to own a computer, and you can have Nifty running in the background like that. I did a 31-piece polo buyout on Facebook for $245. That's how much I love selling. A nice one, John. I like that. I like the being on Facebook Marketplace and looking for opportunities. Edward's in the house. You put back a lot of the same ones I put back in Rockingham when I went there last week. I started laughing when you put back the red polo long sleeve. That's funny, man. That's so funny that you were at that same store that same week. I've had people comment that before. A lot of people were commenting that on my Atlanta video from last week. They'd be like, man, I was at the store the day before you, and people were saying like, I bought all the good stuff and left nothing for you. I'm like, great, that's awesome. I'm really happy for you. And they would say that like they passed on a lot of things that I passed on, or some people said they passed on things that I picked up and were kind of questioning my decision making. But some of those items have already sold, by the way. But everybody likes different stuff, I guess. Are there any good thrift stores in Franklin? Ralph, I don't really know. I've only been to Franklin once, and I don't think I thrifted. I was gonna thrift, but it was a Sunday and the thrift stores opened really late and we were heading out of town. So it foiled my plan. So I've never thrifted in Franklin, so I can't say for sure. Tommy Bahama. What did I miss here? Did nobody actually like give any good brands for T squared? Is that what I'm seeing right here? So I put this up here. T squared asks a perfectly fine question. And I said, hey, let's crowdsource that. There's a bunch of, I even called y'all smart. I said, there's smart people in the chat that will give you some good brands and some good stuff to pick up in the springtime for sure. And then y'all not even one of, oh, I guess there is one. One Tommy, some person did. Sorry, I called you out, John. John gave us Tommy Bahama. Thank you, John. Let's help out T squared. Looking to get rocking and rolling with their eBay or Poshmark business. We don't know. Give them some brands to look out for. Give them some brands to look out for. How I called you smart and everything. I buttered you up and asked you for help. And all we got is John doing it. Does it feel weird to be walking around doing your live thrifting videos? How do you get over that? I don't do live thrifting really. I mean, I guess sort of. I'm not like live streaming, but does it feel weird? Dude, I've been doing those videos forever. So if it felt weird years ago. I mean, I literally used to go to the thrift store and live stream. I'd say I did a lot of that back in like 2023, which is what, like 3 years ago now. I'd literally go to the thrift store and I would live stream my full hour process there. So any weirdness that I got, I mean, from doing that dozens and dozens of times, I think I shook any of that weirdness. Man, people out there are so freaking weird. If I feel like me thrifting and recording is weird, think about the weird stuff people do freaking every day. So no, if I was ever weirded out about it, I'm years beyond being weird about it. The first time I went live thrifting was in like 2021 back on TikTok. And when TikTok Live first came out, I might have been the first person that ever did a TikTok Live. It actually might be true. I'm not 100. I can't say for sure, but I didn't see anyone else do it before I did it. And yeah, like I guess maybe it was weird in 2021, but that was 5 years ago. I've recorded and live streamed a lot at thrift stores since then. So the Polo Ralph Lauren polos are really, if you can manage to find the ones with the big ponies or cool embroidery or pattern, it won't last in your store. There you go. Thanks, John, for sharing that good insight. LL Bean and Land's End swimsuit, particularly in larger sizes, so sell very well. They don't go for a lot, but they sell quickly and consistently. Thank you for sharing that, CG. I don't really know as much about women's clothing. Probably 10% of my sales, maybe even less, maybe 5% of my sales are women's. So that's an area where I could definitely learn a lot more. So I appreciate you sharing that with folks. Keep the thrifting videos coming. I appreciate you saying that. Is it Tim? Is it Tim? Good afternoon. Closer to Homemade is in the house. And again, if you're new, if you're just jumping into this live for the first time, we picked up a lot of the new subscribers over on YouTube over the past 7 days. So if you're new, let us know. Introduce yourself. Say hello. We do these lives every Monday. So if you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, and this is really important if you're on YouTube, you want to go to my profile and turn on, if you want to, you should. I think you should. Go to my profile, hit the bell icon and turn on all notifications, because then anytime I go live, you'll get a notification when I go live. Anytime I drop a new YouTube video, which I've been doing every Sunday at 11 a.m., you'll get the notification when I drop that YouTube video. If you don't turn on notifications, you're not going to get most of the notifications from me. That's just the way it works. YouTube changed that a few years ago, that if you want to get notified when I drop something new or when I go live, go to my profile, hit the bell icon and turn on all notifications. That'll help you know. People all the time say like, oh, I missed you live, I didn't get a notification. You got to turn them notifications on. I used to watch Anyway live thrifting, but he doesn't seem to do it anymore. So I have been watching all of yours. Well, appreciate that. Also, Miracle Suit women's swimsuits in much larger sizes. They go for pretty good money. Miracle Suit women's swimsuits. That's good to know. That's literally a section of the thrift store that I don't spend any time with. K-Way, not Anyway. Okay, gotcha. Cool. Yeah. What did I miss? Activewear like Lululemon and Vuori will start doing great. Absolutely. As people get outside and enjoy this great weather like Kim and I did over the weekend. We got out and did like a 6-mile walk on the Acosta Trail in Hendersonville on Saturday. And then yesterday we did just a short hike. We did Bear Wallow, which is a classic Asheville area hike. Just a 2-mile hike, a steep 2 miles, but beautiful views at the top. We call them cheap. It's a cheap views hike because 1 mile of uphill, 1 mile of steep uphill, and you just got these like breathtaking mountaintop views. It's just an awesome spot for sure. It was a busy spot yesterday too, which is good to see people getting out and getting after it. So, and then we went into Asheville yesterday, met some friends for dinner too, which is good, clean fun. Next up is Paul, pair of Brooks Brothers pants. If you care about that sort of stuff, we went to a great locals place last night for dinner called Foggy Mountain. I guess it's called Foggy Mountain Brew Pub or Foggy Mountain Pub. I think it's Foggy Mountain Brew Pub. And just a total locals place, right? Kind of like a little hidden gem downtown. They get good, solid food. And so, yeah, we enjoyed a dinner there if you care. I got a burger. Brooks Brothers Milano Fit Chinos, men's size 36 by 30, flat front. These sold on a Nifty best offer, so $24.30. So that's another example of this buyer, Paul, hit the watch button on eBay on this item and then kind of went on with their day. Maybe they were shopping from other resellers, whatever. Maybe they were watching other people's items. But Nifty waited 10 minutes and then automatically sent a 10% off offer to Paul to try to close the deal before he bought from somebody else or before he decided he didn't want pants anymore. And which I would understand. Who wants pants anyway? But he accepted that offer. So $24.30. I paid $5 for these at a thrift store. I love that feature alone makes Nifty worth the price of admission. I see my postal worker coming up the street. So I'm going to put out exactly what I got now for her. And I'll take the rest of the post office. Give me 1 second, y'all. How are you? Too many. Is it that kind of day? I believe it. Maybe. I mean, hold it for, I guess, a really nice day. I hear that. Yeah, thanks. You too. Got a return. Awesome. I always joke with her. I'm like, hey, no returns today. I don't want them. But today, we got one. I feel like on Mondays, I usually get at least a return or two. It seems like just the way things go. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Monday. How are we doing? Brian Martin's in the house. I'm doing well, Brian. Hope you're doing well, too. It's freaking beautiful here in Asheville. Hope it's beautiful wherever you are. Just sold my second World War II era jacket. Found at Goodwill. Almost missed it. It was on the way out and saw them on the fresh rack. Nice grab, T-Squared. How much did you get for that jacket? That's sick. Morning from the desert. Nick Smith is here, y'all. Okay, we got to stop what we're doing. We got to pay our respects to Mr. Nick. Kiss the ring. Morning from the desert, 6792, posting some crazy Big E. And how did I know you were going to say something about like vintage Levi's and stuff? Leave it to Nick to just have like just awesome stuff. Appreciate you being here, Nick, as always. Hope you're well. Regularly watch the live as a video afterwards. First time catching the actual live. Yes, CD, you made it live. If you want to catch all these lives, make sure you turn those notifications on YouTube. That way, as soon as I go live, boom, you'll get that notification and you could pop in. Moss, finally caught you live this week. Did you turn on the notifications? We keep mentioning that. Moss is in the house. Welcome. Always appreciate all your comments and stuff, Moss. That's not lost on me that y'all are watching my stuff and give a damn about it. $23, nice sale. I like that. I like that. Happy Monday, everyone. We have not tried Foggy Mountain. We'll add that to the list. The weather is fantastic. Nice. Glad to hear that. Foggy's a good stop, and you probably won't see like Foggy mentioned in any like the Asheville tourist kind of stuff. It's a place where it's like totally a locals hangouts in it, but it's right in the middle of downtown, but it's like on a side street on Church Street. So if you walked right down Patton, which is like one of the main roads there, you wouldn't even see Foggy. You have to turn the corner and like, oh, there it is. But it's one of those places that too, like locals are like, don't tell tourists about this place. You know, we want to keep it local. I'm like, fuck that. Like, we're going to tell everybody about all the great places in Asheville because small business owners deserve to be busy and have their places full. You know, they do a great job. So I answer to I'd rather support the small business owners and the people that want to protect their little hidden gems. So that's Foggy Mountain. Great place to stop. I like Foggy like for lunch too, and like an afternoon beer if you're into that sort of thing. Sold for $225 each. One went to Cambridge, the other to Japan. Yeah, I was thinking that $23 price was not what I thought, but I was thinking it was going to be a little bit more. So now that makes a little bit more sense. That's awesome. I love that sale. I don't sell many clothing items. Always worried about those return rates. Am I missing out? Sorry, I don't sell many. I mean, everybody sells different things. I've literally made a living selling mostly clothing. I used to be kind of an everything seller, right, as they refer to it as. So I would sell sporting goods and mugs and glassware and collectibles and video games and all kinds of stuff. And I'd say for the last 4, maybe even 5 years, I've been like really tightly focused on clothing. I'm opportunistic in other categories, but mostly clothing. So, I mean, I made a full-time living selling clothing now for years. So But there's so many different ways to resell in this business. I was talking to some friends yesterday. They were asking me questions about reselling, and one of them mentioned like the Amazon return store. He was like all pumped about. He's not a reseller, but he was like pumped about the idea of going to an Amazon return store and like finding perfectly good brand new items that have been returned and like selling those. I was like, yeah, that's a whole like niche of reselling that people do just full time from that. So there's so many different ways to do it. You just got to figure out like what's the way that you want to do it, and also hopefully that overlaps with what your local market offers too. If we the people, what's up, chemo? If we the people see you as having reseller goat status, how does the real Chris at peak feel about himself when looking in the mirror? Do you see a goat? Ridiculous, chemo. I'm grateful that you and anybody else gives me even an ounce of their time every day. We got 52 people watching the live on YouTube and Facebook, another couple people watching on Instagram. So it's weird to me that y'all want to watch me, but I try to give as much information and be as honest and transparent as possible about this business. So, but it's not lost on me that y'all are like watching me while I'm just doing my normal thing, like shipping out orders every day. And I don't take that for granted. I appreciate it. Asked shipping question. Not sure if you saw it. I probably didn't. I don't see a shipping question. So if you ask a question and I didn't get to it, or if a comment that I didn't read, and maybe it just didn't come through on my end. So, oh, is it like literally the comment before? Oh, okay. Customer cancels. I agree. Should item automatically go back into inventory on? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. You'll have to check. I don't. Did you look to see if it was reposted? Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. I was watching another reseller who said they never included origin on items that are made in Japan. Wondering what your opinion is and if you feel it affects sales. Hey, Monica, welcome in. I don't think I put origin on anything. So I hope that helps. It's not something I think about. If I don't type in like where something is made ever. Maybe Nifty, when I list on like using Nifty's AI listing tool, maybe it adds it if it reads it on the label. But I literally don't. I've never typed it in like where it's from, if that makes sense. So hopefully that helps. I agree wholeheartedly. Gatekeeping the good spots is some Reddit behavior. Spread the word. Small businesses are doing things the right way. Yeah. And you got to remember, some of you probably know this already, but I worked running restaurants, like small business restaurants, for more than a decade. So, not corporate restaurants, like locally owned restaurants. So the idea of like gatekeeping a restaurant that's really good and not telling people because you don't want to get busy. Like imagine saying that to the owner, right? You would go in there all the time. You're a regular. You're like, I love this place. Thanks, Joe. We really love it. Imagine then saying to Joe, and by the way, we're not going to tell anybody about this place because we want to keep it ours. Like that's crazy. You would never say that to the owner of the business. And so I just come from that perspective, right? Of running small businesses and like literally handing the bag of money back when it was much more a cash business back in the day, but like literally handing the money, to the owner at the end of the day, or depositing that money directly into the bank account at the end of the day, like. And when the bag was light, the owner felt it and you could see the look on their face. I remember that stuff. So the idea of like gatekeeping a restaurant because you want to keep it local is ridiculous. And by the way, if you do that, there's a good chance that business doesn't survive. And then you don't have your local spot anyway. I mean, sure, if the tourists might not have found your spot, but if they don't, then it might not be around anymore. It might be an empty building if you keep up that behavior. It's ridiculous that people actually like talk that way. There's a lot of talk like that in Nashville, and it's super funny. I've been watching you for 6+ years, learned so much from you. Appreciate your transparency, and the coffee and the new Chris at Peak mug is delicious. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you ordering some coffee and getting you a Chris at Peak mug too. I should be drinking out of I don't drink out of my mug all that often. I should. Nick, I think you got the blue one, but we also have this brown one, handmade mugs from a small artist in Burnsville, North Carolina. Those are handmade. Each one is like a little bit different because they're handmade, but I appreciate you grabbing that. Nick, and thanks for your kind words, especially. It means a lot to me. My experience with those bins, Amazon return open box store, is not that good. You were within a few miles of a couple when you went to Pineville last week. Gotcha. I don't hit those stores. I did it once. So I got a buddy here in Asheville, a reselling buddy, Pete, and this was a couple of years ago, but he won in some like lottery. Like I think he had to pay like to get in this raffle, and he won for a full year. He got to be first in line, or it was like or you get to be like first 5 or in line or something like that. Like 5 people like won this lottery. He was one of those 5 people at this bin store. It's in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And so he's like, "Do you want to come with me someday?" Like it's a pass for 2 people. So he's like, "You could come, we can go and we can skip the line, and we can walk in." And I was like, "Sure, does that really matter though, skipping the line?" And it totally does, because if you go on like the first day at the bin store, if every I think every bins is probably a little bit different, but probably a little similar to these return stores. But you basically like run in, and everything that's in there on, like, I think it was a Wednesday, everything that's in there is like fresh inventory. Nothing's been picked over yet. And they always like take photos and put them on their Facebook showing like some of the like home run items that are sprinkled on through all these bins. And yeah, it's like a mad race in to like dig and like find these really good items. And so being like, I think we were like fifth in line or fourth in line, was super, super valuable. And there was people lined up. There was probably 150, maybe 200 people lined up by the time it opened. Um, so by the time like the 150th or 200th person, whatever, got in there, like we'd probably already been in there for 4 or 5 minutes, like digging through all kinds of stuff. Now I left with a few items, but was it worth an hour plus drive each way? And I mean, gosh, I had like the advantage of like walking right in. Was it, so it wasn't worth it for me that one time. But of course, I could have gone the next time and found a $300 item or something like that. But it just didn't seem like it was my scene. I mostly focus on clothing. They didn't have the clothing that they had was like cheap Amazon, like kind of clothing. Like there was no like nice clothing. Um, yeah, it just wasn't for me. But there's people who that's what they do. And Pete did really well going to that store, but he sells more like electronics and hard goods and stuff like that. It's kind of more his thing. It was really cool for Pete to take me down for that too. He's like a new friend too. I just met him at a thrift store, and he just offered to take me down to one of those things. I thought it was pretty cool. I think I did a video about it. That was a few years ago. I'm late to the Posh party, but eBay is so unpredictable lately. What advice do you have to get me over the fear of the unknown and make the leap? I know Nifty will help. I mean, shoot, if you operate a business like from a place of fear, I just I don't know how long you'll be in business. That I don't know. You're probably looking for like a pep talk, but I'm just gonna like just be straight with you. If you see Poshmark as an opportunity to make more money, but you're not gonna make the decision because of fear, I mean, shoot, I don't know. I mean, I know you're looking for like, positive kumbaya kind of stuff, but Steven, um, you got a business. You can't operate out of fear. You just can't, unless you want to go back to work or whatever. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's a side hustle, but you see what I mean. Like you can't let fear like dictate any decisions. You got to look at an opportunity and you got to go explore it and make the best of it. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't work, that's great too. But I don't really see what you're fearing either. I'm not even sure like what could happen. Like what's the worst that can happen by you joining Poshmark? Whenever I'm making decisions, I always like to figure out like, all right, what's the best case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? And what's fairly likely based on what I know about this opportunity? Like, what is the worst case scenario? I can't even like of going on Poshmark that you don't really sell much stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. What is the worst case scenario? It's just, what would elicit like a feelings of fear? Like the worst case scenario would have to be pretty bad for me business wise, for me to like have a fear response. Like what's going to happen if you go on Poshmark? Like is your safety and security got to get threatened? I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for, but that's it. That's the guy you ask, and that's the type of person I tend to be. So that's the answer you got. If you do free shipping on an item, can you differentiate where it's being shipped to, like excluding Alaska and Hawaii, where it might be expensive to ship on eBay? Yes, you can absolutely exclude Alaska, Hawaii, and international sales. Yep. How are you, J-Dub? What's up? Welcome in. Howdy from Georgia. We got Georgia in the house all right now. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I think the ones that make the real money on returns are the ones who buy the pallets in the first place. Yeah, because I think one thing that these Amazon return stores, like the bin stores, they know like good items and stuff, right? They at least know some good items. So you got to imagine that as they're taking the stuff off the truck and they're taking the photos of the items that are like home run items, and they're posting those on Facebook to attract people in, you got to know that they're also taking some more of those items and not taking photos of them. And then they're selling them on eBay or something like that. Like they have to, right? They have to. I mean, they'd almost be silly not to. Where's the next thrift trip? I just got back from a trip out to the border of North Carolina and South Carolina, down just south of Charlotte. So I was in Indian Land and Pineville and what's that other town name down there? Rock Hill. I was in that area and filmed going to 4 thrift stores. Went to a great restaurant in Waxhaw, and went to like a fun historical site. So that video I'm going to edit this week, and I'm going to post that for Sunday. So that's the next trip. Hello from Wyoming. What's up? Piece of Scrap is in the house. I'm just old and concerned about all the scams and social aspect about Poshmark. Scams on any platform, you're going to have like scams at the beginning. They're going to target people who are new. You're probably, since you're old, you probably are good at the idea of like the notion of like, if it smells like a fish, it's probably a fish, right? So I'll just say that you're probably, if you survive this long in this world, you can probably see a scam coming. You also have a community of people here that if you suspected a scam, you could reach out to other resellers really easily and be like, hey, is this a scam? And somebody who's a veteran on Poshmark would be like, yes or no pretty quickly. So there's that. And also the social aspect. I don't do anything for the social aspect. I have Nifty. So if you're going to sell on more than one platform, I strongly believe that you should have a cross-listing software, whether it be Nifty or something different. You make the best decision for your business. But I would not manually cross-list, because then you have to manually delist when things sell. You're going to make mistakes and all kinds of stuff. So you should have some form of cross-lister, right? Well, with Nifty, it has automation tools built into it that it does all the social stuff for you. You literally don't have to do any sharing. You don't have to do any delisting, relisting, nothing. It takes care, it sends offers for you and everything, right? Auto offers to people who like your items. So and that's the key. It's really key about Poshmark is Poshmark, like any algorithm, it craves activity. It wants activity, and sharing is huge on Poshmark, right? But nobody in their right mind would sit there, I don't think, and share manually all day. Nifty will do that sharing for me, and I'll like bring up my dashboard right here just to give you an idea of like what this is. I think you'd have to be crazy to do like any of this social stuff that Poshmark craves. Everybody who's like a serious seller on Poshmark has some version of like automation or like what they used to call Posh bots. And I'll show you how that works here right now. Let's share the screen here. I've got a little peek in the corner, and so this is my Nifty automation dashboard that you see, and right here at the top is you're going to see Poshmark. So you'll see this number change like while we're talking right here. It just changed, so it went to 2670. So this is how many times today that it is shared, and there goes 2,671. I mean, it's just constantly sharing throughout the course of the day. And this is me sharing other people's stuff, 348. Sometimes I get messages from y'all on Instagram or comments on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and you're like, oh, thanks for sharing my items on Poshmark. And I'm like, you're welcome. I definitely didn't do that. It's this community share thing. So it's me sharing other people's stuff. And then what happens is their bot reciprocates, right? If they have a bot, and they'll share my stuff. So that's why you do it. And so anyway, that's the automation that's happening. It's delisted and relisted one item on Poshmark for me too. But these shares, every time I share, it gets me higher in search results. And that's really, really huge on Poshmark. It's also sent 8 offers, and it's followed 14. I've followed 500 people, and it's done reciprocal follows for 14 people. Poshmark craves all this social stuff, and Nifty does 100% of it for me. I don't do any. And you can see the automations working on, I got to turn this back on. Look at that. My offers are turned off on Mercari. Sometimes Mercari disconnects. It's Mercari's fault. And I forgot to reset my my offers. So there it is, 10% off between 10 to 15 minutes before sending. And that's good. So anytime somebody likes something, it's going to send them an offer. So we'll probably see that happen pretty quickly. It'll probably start sending some offers on Mercari, because it's going to look and say, oh, wow, we have items that have likes on it. And I'm going to do the relisting too. So we're going to relist items sold older than 30 days. Yep. So what happens is Mercari forces like any kind of like cross-lister that connects with Mercari like boots it out. Like I think it's like every 30 days. So you have to like reconnect your Mercari when it happens. But Nifty gives you notifications when it happens. So I just forgot to turn on my automation tools right there. But you can see it sent 13 offers on eBay, and it's ended and relisted or recreated 3 listings. So old stale listings. So this is all happening automatically. I don't have to do any of this stuff. I don't have to click any buttons or whatever. It's just doing it. and look how many shares it's done, like just while we're sitting here. So kind of crazy. And some of these offers, if we look at a few of these offers, I wonder if any of these we closed out on. So these are all active offers that have been sold, like sent like over the last several hours. See if any of these, well, we already shipped out a couple things that were offers closed from yesterday, but I guess none of today's offers have actually this one did. This item sold for $27. This Wrangler, we haven't, oh, you can't even see the screen now. Sorry, let me just do this. I thought you could, it's only sharing that screen. Replace with this one. Cool. Sorry, I was looking at my offers on, this is literally the offers that like on in each individual item that went out on eBay today. And this one actually got accepted already, this Wrangler 20X. We're going to ship that in a little bit. A $27 offer. It was it was listed for $29.99 and it sold on that $27 offer. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a glimpse into that. If you're doing Poshmark, if you don't have automation tools on Poshmark, you won't get anywhere near the sales that you'll get if you actually do have automation tools, whether you use Nifty or something else. But I would obviously strongly recommend Nifty. History grub portion of the vids are cool to appreciate that, Dark Black. That makes it a lot of fun for me. Some of you might know that I actually had another channel called Peak Asheville for years, where I shared food, drink, and outdoors, and actually started that channel when I was in Tampa, but we knew we were going to be moving back to Asheville. So that's important. Like I love this idea of going and featuring small businesses that I love going to and exploring new places to eat and new hikes and that sort of thing, new trails, waterfalls, that kind of stuff, and sharing that with people. Sharing the best of Asheville and the area around is just really, really fun to me. So the idea that I'm incorporating those into my new series of travel to thrift videos is like, I get to do both sides of me instead of having two separate channels to do this. It's a beautiful thing. I would very much like to just, some days I just want to travel and eat and go to historic spots and hike and do all that stuff. But the fact that I get to mix in both of those too, especially if I'm having a crappy thrift day. If I go like in Atlanta, I was having a crappy thrift day and I went on that like waterfall walk with those Roswell ruins. And I was like, I left that. I recorded and like got back in the car and was driving on to the next thrift store. And I was like in such a good mood. Even though like the first 3 thrift stores that I went to before I went to that waterfall were crappy. It's just like I was outside, it was spring, it was beautiful, and I got to see like a piece of history, American history, and I was just like in such a good mood. So I'm glad that y'all enjoy that, because for me it's like super fun. Ever had an eBay buyer find you in real life to buy from you? How did buyer find my LinkedIn info via my screen name and email me? No, I don't think I've ever had that happen. That's kind of crazy. Why wouldn't they just buy on eBay? It seems like it would be a lot easier than like tracking you down like a private investigator. Nice. That's my area. Looking forward to that video. That's awesome. So you're out in like that Pineville, like South Asheville, South Charlotte area. Like that's your jam, Rock Hill, all that stuff. Do you strictly buy from thrift stores, or do you ever buy raw material or bulk buyouts? Do you ever buy raw material? What would raw material be? I don't know if I understand that question, but bulk, I've done several bulk buyouts over the years. I do a lot of retail arbitrage. I do a lot of online arbitrage. I do garage sales in the summertime, estate sales on occasion too. And I source off of Whatnot also. So those are some other ways that I get items. Hello from New York. Had a great week last week. Sold a lot of old inventory. That's the best when you're getting rid of some of that old inventory. You were hitting my Goodwills a week ago or so. You hit all of the ones I hit. You do go on some of the bad days. I hit most of mine on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. But you did get some good items. So basically all the good days, Maritha, are the days that I didn't go. Every other day of the week is good, except for the days that I went, Tuesday and Wednesday. It's interesting. Every area has got its like little, like little idiosyncrasies, we'll call them, right? Like where days that are good or sale days and all that stuff. And as I go to these places for the first time, I learn. And it's so now next time when I have great people like you telling me go on other days, now I can. So I appreciate that. If you had to pick a city to thrift in, would it be Nashville or Knoxville? I've never thrifted in Nashville, so it's hard for me to answer that question, but Knoxville sucks. And I've never thrifted in Nashville, and that would be a fun trip. So that'd be cool. But Knoxville is 2.5 hours and Nashville is like over 6. So there's also that. I can't really I can't do a day trip to Nashville, and really an overnight trip, that'd be tough too. So that's a limiting factor. I would almost rather like fly to Nashville if I could get a nonstop. But anyway, I hope that helps. What did I miss? Did you? Oh, nice. Did we drop the same comment twice? Sorry about that. Yeah, gotcha. Is Nifty worth it if you have a small business? I recommend that people, before joining something like Nifty, which is cross-listing and automation, it's complexity. It adds complexity to your business. I think complexity can be good or it can be bad, but complexity is more things for you to worry about. And I think before people start getting into cross-listing, I've always suggested that they get really good at one platform first. So I would say get to a point where you have 150 items actively listed, Candy, and then that you've already sold 75 items. Like you've sold and you shipped 75 on one platform, because that tells me like, okay, cool, you got a pretty good grasp of that platform. You've sold 75 items, shipped them out, right? Done the customer service that comes along with it, made some mistakes along the way, and sorted it out and got better. So 75 sales shipped and 150 total listed items. That tells me that you're probably in a place where it makes some sense to add automation tools and cross-listing and all that. Now, I'll retract that statement a little bit and say you're on eBay only or Poshmark only, and you haven't hit those thresholds. Nifty also offers a automation only plan. I believe it's $25 a month. And what it is, it's not cross-listing at all. It's just going to, like on eBay, it'll just delist and relist your items every 30 days. It'll send automatic offers to buyers. So in that case, to me, Nifty isn't actually adding any complexity. It's actually taking tasks off your plate and doing them for you, and you don't have to do anything. So I do think that even before you hit those thresholds, to me, those thresholds are for cross-listing, because once you start selling on multiple platforms, you got to learn multiple platforms. There's ins and outs of each of the platforms. It just takes time to learn it. You can learn it. Yes, absolutely. But when I talk about Nifty just for automation, no cross-listing, I think you can have a really small business, and that makes sense, especially for a small business, because that tells me that you have other priorities like a full-time job, kids, taking care of a loved one, whatever. If you have a small business, probably because you got other stuff going on and you don't have a lot of time to devote to that business. So something like automation tools can actually literally physically take things off of your plate on a daily basis and do them for you. And frankly, do them better. Like when Nifty sends those auto offers, it's 10 minutes after the buyer either watched or liked that item, right? So you're not going to be staring at your phone if you've got a full-time job and kids and all this other stuff. And you're not going to be staring at your phone, like looking to see anytime somebody likes or watches your items and then send them an offer, right? That's like, it's crazy. Like you got to get away from your phone and focus on the things that are more important, right? That's the idea of priorities, right? You can only have one, really. So focus on that. Yes, South Charlotte, I like it. Hopefully that helps, Candy. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions. I know there was a lot there. Calhoun, Faith is in the house. What's up, Faith? How are you? Wanted to see if I can make a bundle deal and save both of us eBay fees and shipping costs. Turned into a good experience. Sold 11 shirts for 150 profit. I like it. That's cool. Raw material equals bales of mixed clothing. It's super cheap, but it's unseen until you purchase. I don't buy anything like unseen personally. Thanks for explaining that. That's just not my thing. I've been having bad experiences as a buyer lately. It's really opened my eyes how much buyers are so happy with how I sell. I thought I was just doing the basics. I feel like I saw like a Facebook post or something from you. It was about that. Thanks for the content, and the 442 collections in the house from the UK. That's awesome. Love having people watching from overseas too, and you Americanos too. Next up, we got an order for Veris. This is an item, again, if you just memorize brands. Yeah, this is the next one. If you just memorize brands and you just pick up reflexively everything from a brand, you're going to make a lot of mistakes along the way. So this was probably a mistake buy. So this is Zegna, which is from the designer Ermenegildo Zegna. And this is a drop 8 fit. It's like it's actually like the shirt I'm wearing. It's like a seersucker long sleeve shirt, small size. It's men's 39 with a 15.5 neck, which is like a men's size small. Just kind of a weird shirt. It's a little off brand for Zegna. And it sold for $18.89. And this was after I lowered the price. And then Nifty sent an automatic offer on this one. So this is actually shipping to Portland, Oregon. And it's shipping to an address on Airport Way, which tells me that this is going to a reshipper or a freight forwarder, which is fine. But basically, anytime this ships to an address that's like if I went on Google Maps and put in this address, it's going to show me like a like an office space or like a warehouse that's right next to the airport. And what that is that's a broker or a freight forwarder, right? And so they're going to buy a whole bunch of things. It's going to be shipped to that location. They're going to put it in one like big pallet, and they're going to ship that overseas to buyers that are interested in these items. They're great customers. I've never had an issue with a freight forwarder. I feel like almost every Monday we ship something, at least one item, usually to Miami or Doral, Florida. But this one, sometimes it's Portland, Oregon too. I would say Portland, Oregon is probably the second most common place that I ship stuff for freight forwarders. But by far and away, most of it is Miami and Doral, Florida. Because Doral is like right by the Miami airport. It's like the airport in Miami is like northwest Miami, which is where Doral is. So anyway, this wasn't a great buy. I paid $5 for it. It still sold for $18.89. It just took forever to sell, and I had to lower the price. And thanks to Nifty too for the assist on that, sending the automatic offer to get that one out the door. Next up is another item I had to lower the price on. We mentioned that Polo Ralph Lauren earlier. It's my #1 selling brand. I sell tons of Polo Ralph Lauren. I've already sold 71 pieces this year in 88 days. Here's a brand new with tags one, nice color. Retail 110 on this one, men's size, medium. I actually sold I probably had 5 of these, and this is the last one. So I sold the other 4, but for some reason this one hung on. So I lowered the price to $46.98. I had it priced I probably started at 55, and then I lowered it to 50, and then now $46.98. So full asking price on this one going to Dorian. And that's sometimes what happens with retail arbitrage, right? It's a strange beast. I probably sold one of these within the first week of me posting this. And then, the other 3 trickled out over time. And then this one just sat around, literally the same exact item, same color, same size, same listing, same photos, everything is the same. And sometimes one will just sit around. It's just a weird thing. And so as a seller, you got to figure out, are you going to wait around for finally somebody to buy this thing years down the road, or you got to lower your prices or accept lower offers to get items out the door? Even though this is objectively a good seller and has been a good seller out of my own store, sometimes you got to make a decision. Are you going to wait forever, or are you going to lower that price and get it gone and make room for new stuff? So I lowered the price, got it gone, made room for new stuff. I paid probably $25 for the shirt, sold for $46.98. Not getting rich off of it, but again, the other 4 sold. This one just sat around. So I made profit off of the deal. And I love multi-quantity listings because I just got to do 1 round of measurements, 1 round of photos, set the quantity to 5, and just let them rip. Last one just took a little while. It just happens. Found a Zegna blazer last week. First time finding it. Nice find, Desert Rain. How much you think that one's going to go for? Found an Hermenegildo Zegna linen blend sweater last week. Sold in less than 5 hours. Got 50, but worried left money on the table, but was within eBay comps range. Nice. Y'all, I can't say this enough. When I sell something within 5 hours and I paid $5 or $8 for it and I sold it for $50, I never have the reaction, oh shoot, I wish I think I had money on the table. My reaction is great. I have more money in my bank account and I could go buy more stuff to sell more stuff. So this idea of this remorse, it sounds like you priced it perfectly if you got it to sell in 5 hours. That's always my response to it. You priced it just right because you got a great sales. You probably made some great profit on that. And you can move on to the next one. That thing didn't even have time to get into your storage and you got it out the door. How long do you wait until you start to lower your price on items that's been sitting? I don't really have a system for that. I should. I don't. If you talk to somebody like Jason Hayes, you follow my buddy Jay Hayes, he'll give you a whole system that he has. At 30 days, he does this, and at 90 days, he does this, and at 6 months, he does this, and he's got a great system for it. I don't tend to be that type of systematic sort of person. I'm a little bit more seat of my pants. I'm well, today I'm going to lower some prices of some old crap, and I sit down and I do it. But I don't do it all that often. That's not my favorite part of the business, to do those little administrative-y things, adjusting prices and all that stuff. I do it once in a blue moon. And is that the right way to do it? Probably not. But it's just the way that I do it. Now, if I had a staff, I would probably put into place a system and let the staff run the system of lowering it at 30 days and 90 days and 6 months. It makes sense. But I just don't feel like sitting down and doing that administrative stuff. There's other things that I would rather be doing to make money, and I choose to do those things. And oftentimes it's like making content and stuff. Like content consumes like a lot of my time, right? So like, would I rather make another video or go in and edit a whole bunch of prices? I'm like, I'm going to make the video. That's just because I love to teach. I love to share, but I don't love administrative work. So it's usually what wins. But again, that doesn't mean it's the right way. If I had a staff, they would be doing that. They would be following a very systematic process. But Jay Hayes, he does it the right way. I didn't even show you these. Wrangler 20X, just picked these up. These took 6 days to sell. I bought a whole, I think it was 8 pairs of Wranglers, Levi's, and I think there was 1 BKE in there. And I've already sold 2 of the Wranglers from that. One sold in 2 days, and this one sold in 6 days. It was a photo post I made like a week or so ago. And boring items. This is a Wrangler 20X, and the model specifically is called number 42 Vintage Boot Cut. And it's a really good seller, good sell-through rate. I typically, the last pair I sold for full asking price, $29.99. This one, as I already mentioned, sold on a Nifty best offer. So I had it listed at $29.99. Somebody watched it on eBay. In this case, that was JJ, watched it on eBay, and Nifty sent that 10% off auto offer and got it sold. Oops, I'm going to need a new roll of tape here. And as somebody who hates all that administrative minutia, I'm horrible at that stuff. Like when I used to work for other people and I had to do all this reporting, I freaking hated doing it. And that was definitely not my strong suit. When I was a career coach, all I wanted to do was coach and teach. I was like, can somebody else do all this reporting and all this garbage and staring at a computer screen type of stuff? I'm like, can you just let me coach and teach and connect with employers and build relationships and make connections and make introductions? Can you just let me do that stuff and somebody else do all the minutia? But they didn't like that deal. Same when I worked for the university, there was so much minutia administrative stuff. I'm like, this is half my job is doing stuff that anybody could do. I'm like, I have this unique set of talents to coach people. And you want me not coaching? You would rather me sit in this office and stare at a computer screen? That's crazy, but that's just the way things work. It's probably a big reason why I don't do those jobs anymore. So when given the choice to do minutia now or to teach and share and inspire, I'm going to do the latter. Doesn't make it right. It just makes it me. And that's the beauty of having your own business. The thing about owning your own business too is it forces you to have to be sort of good at some things that you really aren't good at and don't want to be good at. But you're not going to be great at everything, There's just no way. Next up is an order for Jessica, pair of Mavi jeans. Good seller for me. They typically sell in the $25 price range. This one sold on a best offer, so a real human best offer, $23. This is going to Jessica right down the road in Greenville, South Carolina. These jeans are they're going to go less than an hour to get to their new home. My shipping label is going to be $6.18. The buyer paid $8.95 shipping. So I paid $5 for the jeans, sold them for $23. Buyer paid $8.95. My shipping label is costing me $6.18 because it's not going far. This is going to California. It probably cost me $10 or $11. So like the local sale instead. Thanks, Jessica. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a great start to your week. It's Monday. Do you have a case of the Mondays? I never get that, really. It sells right away. Means you did your homework correctly. That's right, Edward. I was going to do some work while I watched, but eBay's app isn't working again. They've been having a lot of tech issues lately. Interesting. What are you trying to do on the app that it's not working? I haven't noticed that, but I also don't use the app for much of anything except for comping, like when I'm in a thrift store. What's your average STR on Nifty? Mine's currently over 50%, but what's your average STR on Nifty? Mine's currently over 50%. I think I settle for lower offers too often, but my average sale price dropped from 20 plus to high 17s. I don't know what figure you're looking for. What's my STR on Nifty? Does Nifty have that number? I don't know what that is. Tell me a little bit more about what you're searching for. Back to the Nifty topic, I have about 300 items on eBay, 210 on Mercari, and 70 on Posh. Most of these are all cross-listed. The items that are not, will they auto cross-list, or can you pick? So let me unpack this one here. Marcel, thanks for popping into the live. Are your thrifting videos, you often comment, I'm going to list this for X dollars and I will accept offers down to X dollars. Do you enter that minimum on eBay? I don't. I've never used a minimum offer on eBay. I like the offers. I like the activity. I like to counter offer stuff. So it's not wrong to add the like the bottom limit of offers, but I've just never done it. Back to Angel's question, back to the Nifty topic. I have about 300 items on eBay, 210 on Mercari, and 70 on Posh. Most of these. So these are items that you manually cross-listed. Is that what happens? So you don't actually have Nifty right now. You went in and you like posted some of your items to Mercari and some of your items to Poshmark. Am I understanding that correctly? The items that are not, will they auto cross-list or can you pick? I think I understand your question. So I think that you manually cross-listed those items and you're considering getting Nifty maybe to automate some of that stuff for you, which I think you're thinking about the right stuff. So I applaud that. So what's going to happen is if you sign up for Nifty, and I'm going to put the free trial link right here down below in the chat. So if you sign up for that free trial, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to connect your platform. So it sounds like you're selling on eBay, Mercari, and Poshmark. So you're going to connect each of those platforms. You're going to put in your login information, right? And then like Nifty is going to be now connected to each of those platforms. Then what you're going to do is I think it's called like import, but you're going to do an import. And what it's going to do is it's going to look at all three of those platforms and it's going to find every single one of the items that you have listed and it's going to pull them into Nifty. So it's going to know exactly where they are, everything, item titles, photos, descriptions. That's all that information is going to get pulled into Nifty. And then Nifty is going to use AI to match your eBay items to your Mercari items, your Poshmark items, right? So your 70 items that are on Poshmark, if those are also on Mercari and eBay, you're going to have 70 of those, and it's going to say, cool, we found these look like the same listing. Is that true? And what you'll do is you'll verify each of those, and you'll say, yep, those three are the same. Those two are the same. Those three are the same, right? And you'll go through and do that. So now when Nifty wants to delist something, like when something sells, right? Nifty can delist the other two items on the other two platforms, if that makes sense. And then you can do whatever you want as far as cross-listing. So some of your items are already cross-listed, others aren't, and you can just go in and you can cross-list the ones you want to the platforms that you want. But that's the first step is you'll connect the platforms. Second step is import everything into Nifty, and then Nifty will automatically match all those up. It's just going to ask you to confirm, so that way it can manage your listings for you when something sells. Hope that helps. It sells right away. Yep. Probably about $50. It's a basic navy blue. I'll see though. Nice. I already answered that one. If I missed any questions, just feel free to, it won't bother me. Just drop them down into the chat again. Let's go do some work. Sell-through rate. It's shown on the home screen. I don't have that. I don't have that, Robin. It's not on my home screen. I open it and select something, and it has a something went wrong pop up. I update the app yesterday. Gotcha. I was having some like YouTube like analytics issues today, so I'm wondering if like one of those, like each of these websites, they tend to like use the same like database people and like the same they use other companies that help them manage all their internet stuff. I wonder if like one of those bigger companies is like having an issue. Because YouTube is having like a lot of like analytics issues this morning too. I don't know if they fixed that or not. Sorry, it's under analytics insights. Rob, you're killing me with this stuff over here. I'm kidding, mostly. Analytics insights. 91.3%. I'm not really sure what that number's telling me. That feels really high, but it says 91.3% is what it says for sell-through rate. I don't know what that's actually measuring though, because that would be like a really high sell-through rate. So I don't know what's going on there. Appreciate that, Marcio. I'm glad that you're learning from the videos. Appreciate you sharing some positive vibes. That means a lot to me. I share this stuff to help, and I'm glad to hear. It's always a good feeling to hear that it helps. So thank you. Christine, oh, thanks for your kind words. They have helped me so much. I also live in where in North, if you're comfortable sharing, Christine, where in North Carolina are you? If you just want to share the region or the county or something, that's cool too. But I get if you want to be private. But hola to a fellow North Carolinian, Christine. Good to have you in the live. If you're watching over on Instagram, you might get a better experience if you also have YouTube or Facebook, just because you get like this wide screen instead of like the little portrait screen. So it's up to you. Whichever way you want to watch is totally fine with me, but you might consider going over to YouTube or Facebook. Same name everywhere, and all the links to everything are in my profile if you want to go over to one of those. But I'm just grateful you're watching wherever you want to watch. I'm just giving you that option. Oh, Curry Beach. Yeah. I know right where that is. So my wife is from Wilmington and grew up in Wilmington, and I've spent time on Curry Beach. It's been several years now since the last time I visited, but we used to go every summer for a week with the family, and we'd either be on Curry or like right there next to it on Carolina Beach. I'm not really actually sure like where Curry ends and Carolina begins. You get the idea, but we would stay in that area every summer. But it's probably been 8 years since the last time that we did that. We were actually talking about that as a family the other day. Like, we should do that again. But the family's more complicated now because we got like 4 nieces and nephews that we had. Like at one point we had 0 back then. And then we had 1, and then we had 2, and now it's like up to 4. So those sorts of trips are a little bit more complicated. Next up is a bad birdie. Picked up I don't want to say a whole bunch of these, but I want to say maybe somewhere around like 10 or 12 of these. 2 different colors, I think. So this one sold women's size medium. It's a sleeveless golf polo tank top, I guess is what you call it. So a sleeveless polo, basically, or a tank top polo that you would wear for golf. So this sold for full asking price $29.99. I think I'm like $11 a piece into these. And again, I love that multi-quantity. It's a big part of my business. It's not just thrift stores. It's retail clearance, it's online clearance. But I don't do a lot like throughout the course of the year. I'm not shopping a ton. So I haven't done a YouTube video on like retail arbitrage because the last time I went was January. Maybe I've been to like 1 or 2 retail stores since then. Sometimes if I'm like in the neighborhood thrifting and there happens to be a good retail store that I sometimes go for clearance, I'll pop in and grab a couple things. But the big clearance seasons are January and then like July, August. So it's kind of like January, February, July, August. So that's where I pick up most of the stuff that I sell, new with tags that you see me selling throughout the course of the year. It's stuff that I picked up, either in the winter clearance or the summertime clearance. So that was a January pickup that I just sold right there. And they're all multi-quantity too. Or most of them are multi-quantity. So that's why I'll keep selling them throughout the course of the year, because I sold one of those last week. I sold one this week. I'll probably sell one on Thursday, and it'll just keep selling until it sells out. And then we'll start picking up, the summertime clearance. So this next one is a really fun find. You probably already know that I enjoy reselling Columbia. And this is an interesting one. You're not really going to be able to see it. So I'll probably show you. Let me share my screen and show you this because I want you to be able to see it. It's a really cool piece. And it's the only time I've found this. Yeah, there we go. So you can see it's a Columbia PHG. So PHG is performance hunting gear as opposed to PFG, which is performance fishing gear. And you can see it's a Luke Combs collab, which is really cool. The country singer, right? And then if we look on the back, it's got this big, oops, I gotta click here. It's got that big like Luke Combs logo right there. Pretty cool, with the PHG logo right above it. And it's got this Columbia PHG spell out on the sleeve. So it's like a little sun shirt or a boat shirt, right? And moisture wicking little job here. It sold for, this was a Nifty best offer. So I had it listed for $29.99. I think it was, or maybe it was $28.99, whatever. Nifty sent a 10% off offer on this piece. So $26.10 is what it sold for to Matthew. What is that, like the fourth Nifty best offer that we've had already today? When I say that it makes me extra sales every single day, that's like not an exaggeration at all. We're looking at 48 hours of sales, the last two, and we've already had 4 Nifty best offers go out the door. I mean, if you don't think that's like a giant win for my business and could potentially be a giant win for your business, then I'd say you got to reconsider. Anyway, $26.10. I paid $5 for this at a thrift store. This was at a thrift in Charlotte. I picked this up in, what the heck is the name of that town? Gastonia. I think it was the Gastonia Goodwill where I picked up this one. Kind of a cool find. I was like, I've never seen this before. I bet you it's worth money. $26.10. How long did that take to sell? Couldn't have been too long. It took 23 days to sell, so that's a quick sale right there. I'm for it. I missed a whole bunch of comments. Salt is in the house. What's up, Salt? Have you been to Dillard's clearance in High Point? I haven't. I haven't been to a Dillard. There's a Dillard's clearance in Asheville here. I've been to it a couple times. The prices are just too high for me to make money. I don't know that I've ever bought a single item there, but I've been in a couple of times. If I feel like they sell everything for, I think it's all 40% off or it's all 60% off retail. And for me, that's just not enough of a discount for me to make money. And I don't mind like tight margins, especially if I can get like multi-quantity items, right? List it, get 10 items that are all the same items, same size, set the quantity to 10, 1 round of photos, 1 round of pictures. I like that even with tight margins, but I wasn't able to make Dillard's work the Dillard's clearance a few times I went, but maybe there's like a time of year where they run a big sale. I asked the employees, I'm like, is there like a time where like there's like better sales where I can get stuff even cheaper? But I don't think the employees just, I don't think they knew, they're like, whatever, dude, I make like $14 an hour. Like, leave me alone with your questions, Listed a poncho shirt, paid $5 and it sold in 1 day for $60. Let's go, Faith. I love that. Love finding that brand. QQ. I am trying to get at least $10 to $13 profit in an item. Is it important to focus on profit per item or look at overall averages? There's Fasting Junkie. There's 100 different ways to do this business. If you ask that to 5 different resellers, they're going to give you 5 different answers. So I would just say, like, you got to figure out what's going to work for your business in your area. Like your finances and all that stuff. There's so many different ways to do this. Like Wrigley bubblegum, they sold their company for billions of dollars. And most of what they did was they sold bubblegum for like 1 to 3 cents per gum. Like that was their transaction, right? So their profit per transaction was like less than a penny, right? So, and they built a multi-billion-dollar business that they sold. So there's so many different ways to do a reselling business too. You just got to kind of figure out like what makes the most sense for you based on your area, what you're finding, and what your financial needs are and all that stuff, like your time and all that. Watched your Atlanta vlog last week and ended up finding a Bonobos Jet Setter suit at Goodwill here in Raleigh this weekend for $12. Sick. What do you think you're going to get for the full suit? By the way, I sold both of those blazers to the same buyer in less than 24 hours of listing. They were both the same size, just one was black, one was blue. And they sold for $60 a piece, including shipping. So I got $120, and I paid $7 a piece for those in Atlanta. So nice little flip. But if you have the full suit, I sold one of those recently too, and I feel like it sold for, I want to say it sold for like $130 when I had the full suit recently. That sounds about right. But what are you seeing for comps? Nick Reseller 4.17 average profit per unit in 2025 was. Nick Reseller, 4.17 average profit per unit. 4.17 per day, and your average per unit is $29. Profit per unit, that's great. That's actually really high. You crush it over there. You're welcome. Hope that helped. What did I miss here? Love your travel thrifting videos and love the coffee I bought. I was worried at first because it said chocolate notes, and I don't like chocolate in a coffee, but it didn't taste. I didn't taste it at all. So good. Thank you for complimenting the coffee, and thank you for trying the coffee. I really appreciate it. Our goal is always to have you to come back for more. So I'd love to have you come back for more. That said, whenever I say like these coffee flavors in our coffee, it's like such subtle flavors because it's not flavored coffee. So just like this little, it's like a note of of milk chocolate, right? Like just like a whoop, it's just like very faint, just like a little sweetness. I'm actually drinking it right now in my cold brew, and like I'm getting in the cold brew, I get a little bit more of the milk chocolate, but it's just like this hint of like little subtle sweetness that just kind of makes it, I don't know, it makes it delicious. But yeah, it's not like it's not going to scream or sing to you chocolate, right? It's just like a little hint. Compares the number you listed to the number you sold in the last 30 days. Gotcha. When is your next YouTube video? I'm intrigued about South Carolina versus North Carolina. Sunday at 11 a.m. Haley, if you go to my profile on, oh, you're on Facebook right now, but if you go over to YouTube and you click on my profile and you hit that bell icon, you can turn on all notifications so that when I drop new videos, you'll know about it because you'll get a notification as soon as I hit publish. But it will be Sunday at 11 is when I've been dropping my YouTube videos. You got it. Yes, manually listed them. Gotcha. Hopefully that helped, Angel. Let me know if you have follow-up questions there. I have to check it out. Got to recent pricing, but this is a final clearance outlet for Dillard. Example, $300 plus retail for 12, etc. Yeah, let me know how that goes. Yeah, when I went to the Dillard's one, I think it was all 60% off, but so I was looking at a lot of Polo Ralph Lauren stuff, for instance, and a lot of that stuff retails for about $120. So quick math on that. I'm going to use the calculator because it's easy. So at 60% off of 120, it'd be $48 a unit. And a lot of that Polo stuff, like that's kind of what I'm going to sell it for. I'm going to sell it for like 50 to 60. So at 48, I'm not even really breaking even before fees. So, there's some unique pieces that you can make work, but typically the Polo Ralph Lauren unique pieces retail for even more. It's like 180, 190, sometimes 250. So even, so then at your 60% off, you're still now you're paying close to $100 a unit, and you're just not going to get that on resale. So I found that the Dillard's, when I went to it, the local one to me was just, it just wasn't going to work. The math wasn't really mathing, but what you're describing sounds really great. $10 for, $300 pieces is a whole different ballgame. March is close to continuing my climb month to month. I just need 150 in sales over the last 2 days. Let's get it, Swiss. Do a quick sale. Why not? What's up, Salt? 2 weeks ago, I went to an estate sale on the last day. Got a cashmere Brioni blazer for $5. Sold in a week for $170. Dude even left a selfie on the Facebook saying it fit perfect. That's awesome. Great sales, Salt. I love hearing that. Do vintage rock t-shirts sell? Well, they do. I visited a brand new Goodwill and found a Joseph A. Bank 100% cashmere blazer. MSRP was $595, and eBay comps were showing sales about 70. I was kind of hoping for more. Yeah, that's still great. How much did you pay for it? D. Mendoza. Sounds like a good flip right there. I agree with those prices. Not worth it. I'll look for the brands when I go to check pricing. Yeah, report back. I love me some good retail clearance. I love those multi-quantity listings. And man, when I went through that Dillard's, if that stuff was like 80% off instead of 60% off, like I probably would have spent like $15,000-$20,000, like, because if the price is right and their items, like for me, like a lot of that Polo Ralph Lauren are like proven sellers, have been selling them for years, new tags, like I would just haul out. I would just spend so much money and just get all that stuff listed and just sell that off over the next year with all that multi-quantity listings. Believe me, I would prefer to do that than to thrift and find a whole bunch of one-off items. Now, for me, the reality is I do both, and that's what works really well for my business. But boy, if I could just get consistent Dillard's clearance, like everything 80% off retail, I mean, I would just go ham. I would still thrift too. Don't get me wrong. I would do all of it. I want all the money. Feedback. Okay, gotcha. I'm in the same place. Just took me a second to pick up what you're putting down as usual. I love when a buyer shows them wearing it. That means they're thrilled with what they got, and they always makes me happy. Yeah, that's great. I like it. That's fun stuff. Next up is an order for Jeffrey, spelled like Geoff. This is another example of like I don't pick up everything from this brand. The brand here is Jane Barnes. So Jane Barnes, they'll have some like modern stuff that has like just like a regular kind of normal plain stripy pattern or a normal plain check kind of pattern. Those Jane Barnes don't sell well. What you're looking for is these. This is an older tag too on this white tag. There's also an older black tag too. But what you're looking for with Jane Barnes is these like abstract geometric kind of prints. And like this one is just kind of like a funky geometric print, and these sell pretty well. So this one is a polo. I usually find long sleeve shirts, but this is like a short sleeve polo. I haven't found too many of these over the years. $25.99 this sold for. I paid $5 on it. And yeah, if you're searching for Jane Barnes and you want to like get good comps, use keywords like abstract or geometric, and that's when you'll start finding better like sell-through rates and stuff. If you're just looking at like Jane Barnes as a brand altogether, that's not going to be super helpful. I used both keywords, geometric and abstract, in this listing, and it took 23 days to sell. So $5 into $25.99. That was a best offer of $25.99. I think I had it listed at $28.99. Went back and forth with that buyer, I think for a round or two of negotiations, and settled on that $25.99 price. So thank you, G Off. Nice sale right there. Under 30 days for a flip, 5 into $25.99. Like that's like, to me, that's blue chip right there. I love that. I mean, sure, I like the big flips too, but you know what I mean? Like this is like, I built my business on that kind of thing. Like that's the core of the business right there. Most of my flips aren't like $50, $80, $100 flips. Most of them are like this, 5 into $25.99. And if you can do it in less than 30 days before I've even paid the credit card bill on this thrift store purchase, it's a beautiful thing. So after fees and cost of goods and shipping and all that stuff, you subtract everything, my true profit off of this is going to be $14.78. You know, and just do this 12 times a day, and you're making yourself some pretty good money. And then you mix in a few that are, you know, bigger flips, like those jeans or the True Religion pants earlier that made me $38 on one item, and you mix in a few of those, a couple of blazers. We get a really good blazer that's going out the door on Poshmark that's going to make me good money, and all of a sudden, you know, like bam, I made like $250 in profit today or something, which is pretty good. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. Need to pay attention for the Polo Ralph Lauren manufacturing MFG. Is that what it is? MFG manufacturer. What is the MFG? You with all the abbreviations, Gina. We got like MFG, G-Borough. Is that what people use out there? G-Borough. What's the? Isn't there like a 3-letter? Like it's like GSB or Greens GMB. GSB, I guess it is. That's like the airport GSB. You with the abbreviations. Hit my Goodwill this Friday, and they bought out a lot of hunting camo items that included Sitka and Noman, all priced at $624. Let's go, Marita. I would kill for that little haul. I want that haul. Give it to me. Next up is Fish Hippie. Here's a North Carolina brand. This brand is based out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, if you care. Now, I don't pick up everything from this brand. In fact, I pick up far less from this brand than I used to. But what I do pick up is more of the performance stuff. Fish Hippie, it's like a fishing sort of outdoor lifestyle brand. So the things that I'll pick up are the more like performance, like fishing wear. And this one obviously has a great pattern. And I was able to comp it using that model name right there. It says Row Performance. So much easier to comp when you have a model name on an item than than just having like, just searching for Fish Hippie. Of course, I can search for floral on this one on my keyword, right? And get some exact comps. So I found comps that were in the $20 to $30 range, or $20 to $25 range for this exact shirt. I think I listed it for $22.99, and this was a nifty best offer. So $20.70, so 10% off. And this one sold. So the Hippie, it's a performance wicking, like spandex, polyester kind of shirt like that you would wear if you were out hiking or fishing or whatever. So that's why I picked this one up. It sold in 26 days. I picked this one up in, I don't know why I remember this stuff. Probably because I have to edit the videos and all that stuff too. So I live the experience of shopping for it, and then I relive it as I edit the videos again. So this was in Shelby, North Carolina, the second biggest Goodwill in the state of North Carolina that we stopped at. I guess that was about a month ago. There was a YouTube video about that. The Shelby one was the very first thrift store that I hit on my way out to Charlotte for that last Charlotte trip. So this is going to Edwin. Thank you, Edwin. It's going to Louisiana. I was expecting it to go to North Carolina, but I I feel like when I sell this brand, it ships to North Carolina pretty frequently. All right, that's our eBay. Let's do some Poshmark orders. Sorry, manufacturers. Yes, Greensboro. I'll have to figure out that. That's not on my radar screen, and I don't know how to get that on my radar screen. So that's not like an outlet. It's something different. And you said this is Polo, right? Polo Ralph Lauren. I'm just going to put in Greensboro Polo Ralph Lauren and see what pops up. So is it the Ralph Lauren call center and warehouse? Is that what it is? Oh, it's like a fancy looking place. Looks like a hotel almost. Looks like a Hyatt Regency or something. Oh, I think this is showing me the Grand Over, like that resort. And is it right next to that? Is it right next to the Grand Over, like that big like conference center in Greensboro, like right on the highway? That's like right on 40, right? Hey, how are you? Is it Marie? Yes, distribution sales once a year usually. Gotcha. Do you have some like context for that, Gina? Like what percentage off is it? And like, yeah, because I would just go and if it's a really good sale, like I would buy like all of the things basically. Like I would shop until they kicked me out basically. I don't think they'd kick me out. I hope they wouldn't. Do you use Nifty AI for bookkeeping or a separate program? Which one? Love your help. Caroline, thanks. I use Jason Hayes's reseller spreadsheet. I don't use the Nifty for bookkeeping, but you absolutely could. The reason I can't is because I also sell on Amazon. I also sell on my own website, and I also generate income for the business through content creation. So Nifty doesn't track Amazon. It doesn't track YouTube stuff. So I need another tool in addition to Nifty in order to track my stuff. But if you don't have those sorts of things, you could just use Nifty. But I use Jason Hayes's reseller spreadsheet. I think this is the 4th year that I've been using his spreadsheet. I have it linked in my profile. If you go to my profile, you'll see my recommended reseller supplies. That's in there too. It has a discount code for 10% off if you use that discount code at checkout. But if you want to check out his reseller spreadsheet, I love it. That's what I'm like reading off when I tell you how many days it took items to sell and sale prices and all that stuff. That's kind of like my dashboard, and that's what I look at. It tracks like things like sell-through rate and all that for me too. So monthly sales, daily sales, compares 2026 to 2025. It's a beautiful thing. It's really comprehensive, and it gives me all the numbers I need, and it makes tax time really easy too. I generally recommend if you're going to check out the reseller spreadsheet, get the premium one. He offers 3. The premium's like the middle tier one for most sellers. That's going to be perfect. The lower end one, I just don't feel like offers enough. The high end one is probably too much for most people. I would suggest the premium. So let me know if you have any follow-up questions to that. He's got YouTube videos that like walk you through exactly, like what the spreadsheet does and what it doesn't do. And like, tutorials to like help you get started and stuff. It's a great product. It's really well done. I think this is the 4th or 5th year that he's had the product, and every year it gets better. And he has he has a ton of repeat business from it. So he continues to make the product better and better, listens to his users and all that stuff. It's a beautiful thing. And I can say it's good, by the way, too, because I also play a role in helping him develop that too. Like I get to give him feedback and be like a beta tester, so to speak, like go to try to break the product. And he always asks me like what features I want to build in and ask my opinions on different features. And so I don't want to say I build the spreadsheet, but I have some say in it. So like, obviously I'm going to like the product if it's like I had an ability to kind of shape how it's evolved over time and give feedback on it. And so it's a beautiful thing for me. So obviously I'm going to love it. Obviously I'm going to love it. Well, thanks everyone for being here. We still got some Poshmark orders to do. eBay is done. If you want to see those eBay orders, remember after this live is over, you can go rewatch this on YouTube or Facebook. But we're going to jump into Poshmark now. Not as many Poshmark orders. eBay was fuller. We're going to start in... We'll start in chronological order. This was the first sale that came in Saturday afternoon. This is an LL Bean blazer right here. You can see the tag says LL Bean Outdoor Specialties. This is cotton canvas, kind of like a almost like a chore jacket. Like I used some keywords in here: chore, field, canvas, but also like blazer, like travel blazer. So it's cotton. It's got like a couple of zipper pockets, one on the inside, one on the outside. This got like a heavier piece right here. And this sold for $59 on a best offer. I think I had it listed at, $69. And what was I going to say? It didn't take long to sell. Let me just tell you exactly how long it took to sell. Where are you? There it is. This took 22 days to sell. So I paid $7 for this. This was actually at a thrift store in somewhere like one of those West Charlotte, like Belmont or like one of those ones out there at Goodwill. $7 for this, 22 days to sell, sold for $59. Poshmark is going to keep 20% in fees. So out of $59, that means they're going to take what? $11.90. So we'll call it $12 they're taking. And look at the next one. So 47 for me. I paid 7. Am I doing my math right there? Yeah, I paid 7. So I'm going to end up with a $40 profit on this item. Did I do that right? 59, 2, 12, 47. Yep. $40 profit on this. This is going to, I mean, obviously I would love every item to be $40 profit, but most of my business is more like, like hovers around like that $14 to $16 range is really common. That's the core of the business. But having some, these to me are like home run sales or whatever you want to call them, doubles or triples. So a $40 profit item is a beautiful thing. For me, that's like, this is like selling, basically like selling 3 items of my normal stuff. So that's how you can like really start cooking. Get a couple of high ticket items in there. And today we had those high ticket items. That was our second $60 sale right there, or 59, whatever. And then next one is going in order here. Here's a North Face jacket. I paid $10 for this at a thrift store. North Face. It's called the Mod Bomber jacket. It's like polyester quilted. It's like a diamond quilted little jacket. It's women's size small. Women's size small. Sorry, I almost said medium. So this sold for $30. I paid 10. Poshmark's going to keep their 20% fees, so they're keeping $6. That leaves me with 24. So I made $14 profit on this $10 purchase. And we sold a quilted jacket. This is not like a summertime type of jacket. We sold this in the middle of, I guess, March the 29th. So this is going to Sean. Thank you, Sean. What South Carolina Goodwills did you end up hitting? Elliot, you know what I'm going to say. You got to watch the video, brother. I don't want to spoil the video. I don't want to spoil it. You'll see. You will see. Come on, I got to play it this way. Peter Mark quarter zip golf pullover, 15 to 55. Thanks for all the tips. Nice one right there. Nice one. $55 is a good sale price. Did it have a country club logo or something on it? Like, what was its thing? Or do you know like what the model name was? You know the trick on Peter Millar, right? Every Peter Millar item has a model number, and you can just look up. You can just Google Peter Millar and put in that style number, and you can find out like what the style name is. But you sold it for $55. You don't need my freaking help. I'm learning a lot from your vlogs. Thank you, Chris. I'm just starting out. I love that, Marie, and I'm glad to hear that those are helpful. In some of those videos, right? Like I'm not exactly killing it at some of these thrift stores. I think I'm like pretty clear about that. Like, well, this one wasn't that great, right? But I think it's important to share. If I'm going to share the wins of this business, like today we're sharing the wins, right? We're sharing sales. That's what we're here for, sales and profits. If we're going to share those things, I feel an obligation to also share the reality of things. I don't walk into every thrift store and it doesn't just like rain items into my cart, It takes a lot of digging. It takes sort of sometimes knowing when to pull the plug and leave the thrift store and just move on to the next one or whatever. But yeah, so to me, it's important to share the reality of it, not just like a highlight reel of just all the home run hits, because that's not what reselling is. It's a daily grind. And if you continue to grind and you continue to learn every day, you can be pretty profitable with this sort of thing. So Joseph A. Banks Travel Tech Blazer. And the reason I picked this up is specifically that model right there. So Joseph A. Bank Traveler, you'll find a lot of that line. That's like one of their more common lines. That doesn't necessarily make it a buy for me. What made this a buy is the Travel Tech. So this is like it's either, I forget if this is like half lined or unlined. The idea is that this is like a travel blazer. It is lightweight. It's a polyester blend. So it's like easy care. Like you can take it out of your luggage. It's not going to be like all super wrinkly and that sort of thing. Very like lightweight, breathable. So you're moving around, you're traveling, not just necessarily sitting in a board meeting. Like you can move from the board meeting to the plane, that sort of idea. So these blazers are really hot right now. It's kind of like athleisure breaking into like, to formal wear. And anyway, this is a good seller for me. This sold for $35. I had it listed, I think, for $43. I usually sell them in like the $45-ish range, but went back and forth with this customer. It ended up being a pretty quick sale because I think I grabbed this one in Atlanta just like a week and a half ago. Yeah, I just listed this on Saturday and it sold this morning. So 3 days on this sale. I paid $7. It sold for $35. Poshmark's going to keep their 20%. Means Poshmark's going to keep $7. That leaves me with $28, and I paid $7. So a $21 profit. I flipped it in 3 days. Could I have gotten more money for this blazer? Yeah, probably. But I got my number. It's gone. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's moving. Didn't make a thank you card for this fella yet. And I can go move on to the next stuff. So good sale right there. So 35% of my sales end up in $20 or profit or more. 35%. The other 65% are items that sell for between $10 and $19 in profit. So almost 2 to 1, I'm selling items that are less than $20 profit. But at the end of each month, about 50% of my total profits for the month come from items that sold from $10 to $19, and about 50% of my total profits for the month came from items that sold for $20 or more profit. So that's why I like the little ones as much as I like the big ones. It's literally half of my business is the little ones, half of my business is the bigger ones in terms of profit. I sell more of the little ones, 65% of the sales, but that results in 50% of my total profit. So I love them both. I just find more of the lower profit items, right? So, but it's such a crucial part of my business. It's literally half. And I know some people don't want to pick up that stuff, but for me to be full-time and to run a volume business, I need that other 50%. I cannot chop off 50% of my business. I just wouldn't find enough stuff and I wouldn't make enough money. And then I'd have to go back to work and I wouldn't be able to make content and it would be really dumb for me. Everybody's business is different and their situations are different. So a new tag display from Costco sold in 16 hours. That's awesome. That's awesome. Keep us in suspense. You gotta put, it's gotta be a little bit of showmanship, right? There's gotta be a bit of that, right? Yeah. Next item. Running out of social gas here. We're running out of words at this point late in the live. So next up is Chubby's brand new with tags. Bought I don't want to say a ton of these, but I probably bought like around a dozen or 15 of these, a couple different colors, a couple different models. I got some t-shirts too that were Chubby's. I think these I'm in for like around $10 or $11 a piece. And this one sold for a price, $35 on this one. So $35. And that was a full asking price sale on Poshmark. And this is a multi-quantity listing. This is a men's size small. I have a couple more smalls, and I think I have a couple more mediums in this too. So just going to Kyle. Love those multi quantities. Mix in my retail arbitrage. Mix that in with my thrifting. It's a beautiful thing. Mix that in with some whatnot sourcing. Pretty soon we'll mix that in with some garage sale stuff too, and throw all that into my black cauldron, and I got my weird little business. All right. We all got our weird little businesses, right? So that's out the door. Little Chubby's piece. Chubby's does not sell for what it used to. It's like one of those brands that as distribution went up, supply went up, sell-through rates went down, and then sale prices went down along with it. That's the way that usually works. People still buy Chubby's like crazy. It's just there's so much more distribution and so much more available. Oh, I didn't ship out coffee yet. Still got one more Poshmark order. Robert, brother, I see your coffee order. Thank you so much. We'll get this shipped right out for you. You should have. I didn't see the notification. You should have let me know, Robert. But you can do whatever you want. Robert, are you still hanging out? Robert got 2 bags of our Black Mountain Dark Roast, so we'll get this shipped out for Robert. Robert was in the live earlier. I don't know if he's still hanging out. So thank you, Robert. So we got 2 bags of our Black Mountain Dark Roast. All our coffee is available in whole bean or ground. Robert grabbed 2 bags of the ground Black Mountain Dark Roast. So good grab, Robert. I'm biased, but I love the Black Mountain Dark Roast. If you haven't checked out our coffee before, are intrigued, you can go ahead and click this link that I'm going to drop in the chat there too. That link is always like down below in the description of this video as well. If you want to check out our coffee, feel free to do so if you like coffee. I'd love to ship you a bag or 2. And if you do order here during the live, I'll ship it out during the live with a big dose of gratitude, just like we're doing for Rob right now. Thank you, Rob. Rob's coming back for more. This is Rob's 2nd order. Where'd I put my clear bags? I had another bag of them somewhere. Ah, here they are. So we got Rob hooked, and now he's back. What's up, Rob? This is order number 2, right? Appreciate you, Rob. So we have 3 different roasts of coffee. This is our Black Mountain Dark Roast. It's going to have tasting notes. It's going to have a hint of dark chocolate to this, a nice like subtle roastiness, and even a little hint of subtle like jammy fruit. Once it gets like a little bit cooler in the glass, you'll detect that. But again, this is not flavored coffee. It is fair trade, organic, and it's roasted fresh every single Thursday. So this coffee was roasted Thursday. And if you know anything about fresh coffee, there is just nothing better than the fresh. Rob, we're getting you a handwritten thank you note. Kim and I really appreciate you supporting our small business. We launched this business just under 3 years ago as our side hustle because I went full-time with eBay. So then I needed a side hustle. eBay was my side hustle for like 2.5 years during my full-time job. And I was like, well, if I'm going to do a side hustle, it's going to be something I'm going to love talking about, like a product that I enjoy and something I want to learn a lot about. I've learned more about coffee in these last few years than I ever thought it was possible to learn. This Black Mountain Dark Roast is a blend of three beans from Honduras. They're all it's all fair trade and organic beans, but a blend of 3 from Honduras. And it's just going to be a super balanced, slightly creamy cup of coffee. Not like a lot of dark roasts that you've probably tried in the past, which are just tend to be one note. They tend to be like roast, roast, roast. You know, just very dark, very bitter. That is not this dark roast. It is complex. It's got a little bit of creaminess to it, and it's nice and balanced. I think you'll really enjoy it. If you like a light roast, we do have our peak seasonal light roast. We're in our spring season right now, and that coffee is actually, it's probably, I don't want to say it's our favorite spring or favorite seasonal light roast. It changes every season. Every 3 months we launch a new one, but I think it actually is. The tasting notes for the light roast going to have a little bit hint of juicy peach up front, and then you're going to get this like nice like floral vanilla finish to it, like from the middle to the end. Again, this is like, it's not flavored coffee. These are just subtle notes that you'll get. And we've been really digging that one. And what's funny is I visited Dynamite last week, and they asked me, they're like, hey, have you tried the light roast, the spring? Have you tried it as cold brew yet? And I was like, oh my gosh, have we? This is freaking awesome. And they're like, that's what we've been drinking a lot here at the roastery, is the cold brewing the light roast. So typically I don't cold brew the light roast as much. I usually do the dark roast or the medium, but man, it is awesome. Today I have a cold brew of our medium roast, which is delicious. And if you haven't tried our coffee before, we recommend that people start with our medium roast. This is our Hooper's Creek medium roast. Super balanced cup of coffee, total crowd pleaser. It is just balanced, little hint of like sweet milk chocolate, but it's just smooth. It's just delicious. That's our daily driver. We drink that, most of the week, and then we'll mix it up with our light roast, mix it up with our dark roast from time to time. But I got the medium roast right here. It's cold brewed, and then a hint of oat milk in there too, just to sort of smooth it all out. So thank you, Rob. Your order's out the door. Really appreciate you, brother. Thanks for coming back for more. That's always our goal. And we do have another. Oh, I didn't print. Did I? I didn't print out your shipping label. I put the wrong shipping label on that. Trying to do like 10 things at once. Beautiful. Nice job, Chris. So let's get Rob's actual shipping label printed out. Rob, you're going to have a shipping confirmation in your inbox in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail here. I think I slapped a Poshmark label on yours. Somebody would have been like, what the heck? I probably would have made their day. Instead of getting a pair of jeans, they get like a couple of bags of fresh coffee. That's pretty funny. Looking forward to the dark roast. Looking forward to the dark roast. Softer, you chatting about it. Just ordered it under Gus Anderson. #1 love coffee, but also #2 gives me a chance to say thanks for all your great content. Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot. A lot of creators, they'll do that thing where you you can it's like, buy me a cup of coffee. Like if you like the content, you can click that link and buy them a cup of coffee, send them $5 or $8 or whatever that is. I've never done that. Instead, I'm like, buy yourself a bunch of cups of coffee, get yourself a bag of coffee and buy it for yourself. That supports our business, but you get something out of it too. We don't want your like donations, so to speak. We'd rather you get some fair trade, organic, roasted, fresh sort of coffee. All right. So now, Rob, you got a shipping confirmation actually in your inbox, and we'll ship this coffee to you and not this buyer that wants a pair of bootcut jeans. That'd be like a interesting swap out. I ordered bootcut jeans, and I got this lovely coffee. Thank you, Rob. You do have that shipping confirmation with your tracking number in your email inbox, brother. Appreciate you so much. We'll get Gus shipped out here too. Thank you, Gus. There's so many different ways that you can support our channel too. You don't have to like buy coffee from us. But we appreciate you being here in the live, hitting the like button, commenting, sharing what's going on in your business, and engaging in the conversation, watching the YouTube videos, hitting the like button and engaging. That stuff helps us out a ton. But yeah, if you want to get some coffee too, I'm all for shipping some coffee to your front door. All right, we got an order for Gus. Gus, this is your going out to Winston. I know where you're at. I think I know that neighborhood. All right, what was I doing? So, Gus, we got a bag of the Black Mountain Dark Roast. I got you, brother. And whole bean. Gotcha. So we'll ship out another bag of that Black Mountain Dark Roast. I think you're going to like that. We named that coffee, by the way. It's named after the town that it's roasted in, Black Mountain. Our roasting partner is Dynamite Roasting. They are in Black Mountain. Beautiful town. Black Mountain is also the the name of the Black Mountain Range, which overlooks Black Mountain, the town, and that range is the highest elevation east of the Rockies in the United States. It has Mount Mitchell, which is included in the Black Mountains, and Mount Mitchell is the single tallest mountain east of the Rockies. So kind of cool. So thank you, Gus. Figured I'd buy some more coffee after peppering you with all those questions. Don't feel an obligation. I love answering the questions. I do that by choice. There's no obligation. But if you love the coffee, then we love shipping it to you too. Don't feel like you gotta buy stuff from me. Gus. Gus, I believe this is your first order, right? I'm gonna just confirm that real quick in my system. It is. Well, thank you, Gus. That's awesome. It's always exciting. Get you a handwritten thank you card here. Thank you, Gus. Little handwritten thank you note. Thanks for your first order, supporting our small business over here. It means a lot to Kim and I. This is how you dry off the ink so it don't smudge. Pro tip. If you have any questions about coffee, you can let me know down below in the chat. If you want a recommendation from me of what to try, just let me know what you currently drink. Like, just let me know like the brand and what roast, and I can give you a recommendation based on that. But our best seller is definitely our Hooper's Creek medium roast. It's the coffee that we launched the business with. It's Kim and I's favorite coffee in the whole world, and it's a real treat to be able to have the Chris at Peak name on that and to be able to ship that to you, because we just love that freaking coffee. And the story behind the Black Mountain Dark Roast, when we launched that coffee, was really fun. So Dynamite put together, based on, at that point we'd already launched 2 coffees together, so they kind of knew what I liked. So what they did is they put together 5 different dark roasts for Kim and I to go up and try. And we did like a traditional like cupping, which is when you taste the coffee at 3 different temperatures: at hot, at warm, and at cool. And we did that with each of these 5 coffees that they put together for us. And we got to choose, like, all right, this is the one that we want to make our dark roast. So that was a really fun experience. We actually live streamed the whole thing. We gave away some coffee. We gave away some like coffee brewing kind of stuff too. We gave away some t-shirts. It was good, clean fun. And it was really fun to be involved in that like traditional cupping experience, because that's what Dynamite does. They just actually got back from Honduras. So when they're trying coffee from a farm, you go and you do what's called cupping. And it's like the standard way to taste coffee in the coffee business. And it was really cool to be able to do that in the selection of our own coffee. And there was like 2 finalists for us, and they didn't tell us like what they were, or like what country they were from, or anything like that. It was a blind tasting based on, based on what they knew about what we liked and everything. So it was really cool. And we ended up on this blend of 3 different coffees, 3 different beans from Honduras. It's just a super creamy, kind of like a complex. It's not just like this dark roast, it's just got a lot of complexity to it. It's a really fun cup of coffee, and really smooth and balanced, and just like a nice creamy finish. So that was fun to like be part of that experience. It made me like, it was a cool learning experience for Kim and I, for sure. It just brought us closer, I feel like, to the coffee business, And thanks for rolling through Winston and some of our favorite thrift spots and food. Appreciate that. Cool, unique finds. You got to give me some more food ideas when I get out to Winston. I feel like we're going with family. So oftentimes when we're eating out, we're catering to a family's specific, interests and needs and stuff. So sometimes Kim and I don't get a chance to really like spread our wings culinarily when we're in Winston-Salem. If you picking up what I'm putting down. So if you have ideas of stuff that we could try, because we don't get to try new things too much, we kind of go to old reliable places that we know that will make the family happy, if that makes sense. But even those places we enjoy, don't get me wrong. But normally, Kim and I would like mix it up a little bit more. So give me some ideas if you got them. Sheesh, I'm late to the party. Still got 21 packages in the car I packed last night, waiting to get off work at 3 so I can take them. How do you do porch pickup? Bass, how are you? It sounds like you had a good weekend of sales. Love hearing that. You can schedule it at USPS.com. Just go to schedule pickup and put in all the information and you're done. I don't have to do that every day because they've picked up for me 6 days a week for whatever it's been. How long we've been back here? 3 years now, 3.5 years. So they just got me in the system as what's called a dismount is what they call it. So that no matter what, they stop every day and pick up packages and drop stuff off at our front door. So at some point you can probably get that same thing too. But in the meantime, just now you can schedule it at USPS.com. It's free. Yep, you got it. You got it. I think I got one more coffee order that I got to. One more coffee order. And thank you again, Gus. Really appreciate it. You got a shipping confirmation in your inbox, and that won't take long to get to you. I would imagine. What's today? Monday. I imagine you get that coffee on Wednesday. Don't quote me on that, but that I think 2 days to Winston-Salem. It's only 2.5 hours, so I think you should get it nice and quick. All right, and I got one more order. This order is for Brian. This came in over the weekend. Thank you, Brian. This is exciting. Brian ordered, I believe, during our live stream, I think 2 weeks ago, and that was his first time ordering. And Brian came back for more, and so we're gonna ship this out to him. He got a medium roast, so Cooper's Creek medium, yep. And he got the ground. So that's always cool. You know, our goal is to deliver an awesome product to you that is super fresh, organic, fair trade, all that stuff. The best of the best coffee. Our goal is to really deliver on that so that you want to come back for more. And Brian did. So that's really cool. Thank you, Brian. If you're watching the live, I think you were like live on that Monday, like 2 weeks ago. So we got you with another bag, brother. That's really cool. That's the goal. Get you back for some more. I want to get in your cup every morning. It's kind of a fun thing to say. We still got one more Poshmark order to ship out, but wanted to get these coffee orders out the door. Little taste of the mountains coming your way, Brian. Thanks, Brian. Headed your way. You got a shipping confirmation in your inbox with the tracking information. You should be getting that in just a few days here. All right, let's get back to this Poshmark order. And as always, hey, Carolyn, how are you? And as always, if you want to jump in on the coffee train, I'm going to drop the link right there in the chat. It's also always linked in the description of these videos as well. If you want to learn more about the coffee, there's a whole bunch of information there at the website. And of course, if you're not live, you're watching this replay, I'm going to ship you a coffee too. And with a big dose of gratitude, I'll verbally say it out loud. I'll say like, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Do you do same day or 1 day handling? 1 day handling. Afternoon, Carolyn is in the house. All right, here's our last Poshmark order. This is a new brand for me called Cowgirl Tough Co. bootcut jeans. So, you know, anytime I see bootcut jeans or anything that's like Western, that definitely catches my eye. You can see in the pocket, it almost has like looks like barbed wire is kind of like the look to on that embroidery right there. So that caught my eye. I had never heard of this brand before. It's called Cowgirl Tough. You kind of see it says tough right there, like Tuff. So these are bootcut. I looked them up and comps look pretty strong. I listed these for $25. I went back and forth with the customer. The customer started at $15. I countered at $22. They came up to $18. I countered at $22, and they accepted. And that's the whole story. So I paid $5 for these. This was actually at an Asheville Goodwill. It's on Tunnel Road if you care. And paid $5, sold for $22 on Poshmark. The fees on Poshmark are 20%. So Poshmark is gonna keep $4.40. That's gonna leave me with $17.60. I paid $5, so I made $12.60 in profit on these. I feel like that was a pretty quick sale too. 12 days on that sale right there. So haven't even paid that credit card bill yet. And I already got me the profit. Well, I'll have it once it's delivered and accepted. Yeah, y'all know all that stuff. Y'all get that. Thank you, Holly. You almost got coffee instead of jeans. It actually would have been a better deal. The coffee is 2 bags of coffee is more than $22. She would have made out on the deal if she likes coffee, of course. I gotta reprint that shipping label. Thanks everyone for hanging out for a little bit with me today. As always, these lives are available as a replay. As soon as I log off on YouTube and Facebook, you can watch the whole thing. You can fast forward through the boring, rambly stuff. You can rewind to the good sales of the brands that you want to take note of and all that stuff. And that's out the door. Just another Monday of shipping out my orders. It's a lot more fun when I got you to hang out with to do it. Otherwise, I'd just be in here talking to myself, and Kim would think like, man, that guy's crazy in there. So it's cool that y'all are here because that makes me feel and seem a little bit crazier, a little bit less crazy to everybody. What's up, Daniel? How are you? Question for you as a man that handled many suit jackets. I live in Texas and I'm starting a new job after 7 years of remote work. Well, congrats on your new job. That's exciting. What's a good brand style of suit jacket for warm weather? I need to find some business casual sports coats and blazers. Daniel, you know, there's I really want to buy the Twillery is the brand, and it's kind of like a weird brand, so I'll put it down here. Twillery. They make a model called the Air. I've never sold this model. I put it down there in the chat. I've never sold this before, but I get ads for it all the time on like Facebook. It pops into my feed. They're kind of like it's like really like lightweight, moisture wicking type of like breathable suit. That's what I would buy. And it's like one of those ones, I think you send them your dimensions, like specific dimensions, like, and they'll like send the suit to you, like already tailored. I think that's how that whole experience goes. That's probably what I would do. I don't have like anything to wear a suit for, but I kind of want to buy that suit. You need a suit. Like everyone's got to have one. I do. I have a charcoal suit, but I kind of want to buy like a blue plaid Twillery Air suit. I don't know where I'll wear it. I can't wear it to the thrift store. Like, what am I going to do with that thing? But that would be my suggestion right there. Is Vinted in America yet? Because I've been seeing ads on it lately. I don't know anything about that platform. I've heard people talk about it, but I haven't like looked into it at all. I'm not sure. Are you going thrifting after this live? I don't know. You guys think that you guys have this impression that I have my life like more figured out than I really do. I'm going to stop by I don't know, maybe. I don't know what I'm going to do. I could edit a video. I could go thrifting. That's the good and bad thing about being your own boss is that you can choose whatever you want to do, even if it's not the right decision. I don't know. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to have a snack after this. I know that I'm hungry, and I'm definitely going to go to drop off the rest of these packages at the post office. And then we'll see what I want to do. It's also like really beautiful outside. I also could edit a video. And I'm just sort of like a space cadet, and we'll kind of figure out what's next this week. Why do you want to know, Bass? Like, are you going to try to scoop my stores? It's Monday restock day at the thrift from sales over the weekend at Goodwill. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll figure it out. We shall figure it out. We should probably go on a walk. It's a beautiful day, and I'm trying to like walk more, like get out, get some physical activity every day. So we'll probably do that at some point. I don't know if I'm going to go thrifting is basically what I'm saying. Jennifer, thank you for the positive vibes. Good to have you. Thanks everyone for being here for a little bit, sharing a little bit of your day with me. We'll do this again next Monday, right around noontime. We'll be live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I'll ship out everything that sold over the weekend, and we'll talk about it. And hope you have a great week of sales. Hope you find some like really great stuff. Hopefully some like new brands that you're like, I've never heard of this before. You look it up and it's worth a whole bunch of money. And then you come back next Monday and you tell me all about it. I'd love that. In the meantime, have a great week. Hopefully spring is springing wherever you're at, and you get some time to get outside and enjoy that that fresh air and some sunshine like we're definitely been doing lately. And we'll see you the next time. Have a great week. And don't forget to check out those YouTube videos. I dropped 2 last week. One where I traveled to Atlanta to thrift, and another where I traveled to the biggest, this is the one I dropped yesterday, the biggest Goodwill in North Carolina. That was a fun trip. So I hope you check out those YouTube videos. I had a lot of fun editing those 2, and I think you'll enjoy them too. So we'll see you next time. Just Google it. Invented app is available. There you go. Marie told you. You're very welcome. See you next week. Appreciate y'all. Peace. I'm trying to go, Bass. And now everyone's like, I feel a responsibility to say bye if you say bye. And I already said bye. So now it's just like weird. Melissa with a last minute question. Do you have a P.O. box to receive packages? I don't, but it's not a bad idea. But I just I'm lazy. I like receiving them like right here at the front door. See you later, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Glad you enjoyed Frank's near me. So you've known about this Frank's place and you haven't told me? Like, that Frank's place is legit good. I had like a really good time there. Sometimes I think like people might think like I'm just doing that for the video, or maybe Frank's paid me. Like, they didn't pay me. I paid for that food. And I think it was a very reasonable price. That place is good. That place was like really good. I was not expecting to find a place like, it's kind of like it's a little bit country out there. It's not quite Charlotte. It's not quite totally the country. I wasn't sure if I was going to find like a cool like place that I vibed with. That place was freaking really good. We just met. We just met. Okay, you just started following. Gotcha. Well, if you got any more places like that up your sleeve that you're not telling me about, like Frank's, like that place was legit good. There was like 5 other things in the menu that I wanted to order, and it seemed like everyone in there seemed like they knew each other. It just seemed like a really cool vibe. The employees seemed like that they were enjoying their work, which is not something you see a lot. And it seemed like they enjoyed the people that were in there. They're just like so much positive vibe in that place. It was really cool. It was also like a beautiful day, and I was out on the road. I think that a lot of things were happening really good, but Frank's was freaking awesome. My favorite was that hot dog. All right, Gina, have a great day. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate y'all.